Hello and welcome back to another FPL video. Game Week 4 is upon us, and after an awful Game Week 3, let's hope that Game Week 4 can be a little bit better. If you're new around here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm getting really close to 100 subscribers, and without further ado, let's get straight into this Game Week 4 preview. Now, first things first, we move on to the fixtures for this weekend. Now, first things first, we move on to the fixtures for the weekend. The early kickoff starting the Game Week 4 off is Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace on 6 points and Chelsea only on 4 points after they drew with West Brom. I mean, they clinched it back in the end after going 3-0 down. Chelsea looked very poor defensively and Crystal Palace have been playing very quick counter-attacking football, and Thiago Silva looked extremely slow. So could Crystal Palace hit them on the break here and get a cheeky little win? That's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go with a 2-0 Crystal Palace. Moving on to Everton and Brighton. Calvert-Lewin on incredible form right now, along with Richarlison, both of them picking up plenty of points. But Brighton also have been looking like a very good defensive and attacking team. This is going to be a tight one, but I think Everton are going to clinch it 2-1. Now we move on to Leeds versus Manchester City. Although Leeds have looked very good going forward, they have lacked a bit in the back. And Patrick Bamford's XG is still only sort of 0.1. Will they be able to hit Manchester City on the counter as Leicester did? I'm not sure. I think Manchester City are actually going to tear apart Leeds in this game. I put a bet on personally and over 8.5 goals in this game. I reckon there's going to be 6 or 7 scored at least by Manchester City in this game. Then Newcastle, Burnley, two teams very much this year who will be fighting for the relegation. This is a massive game for both those clubs. Burnley need to bounce back after losing their first 2 games. They really need a win here. Newcastle clinched a draw out of that Spurs game after that awful handball decision. And, and I actually think this game could be reasonably exciting. I'm going to go for a 2-2. Then we went to Leicester City versus West Ham. West Ham shocking all of the Premier League last weekend after everyone saying they're going to be relegation scrapping. They go and beat Wolves 4-0. Jarrod Bowen coming up with a brace. He looks like an incredible player this season. But Leicester, they look clinical this season. Jamie Vardy, however, is injured, so whether that will impact them, and it definitely will going forward. I think Leicester City will still win this one 2-1. Southampton versus West Brom. Although West Brom looked okay going forward last week against Chelsea, I think that was more because of just Chelsea's frailties, but you do have to give some credit to West Brom, of course, although their defence, West Brom's defence didn't particularly look that great. They conceded 3 goals against the Chelsea side that's not actually been particularly good going forward this season. I think Southampton look quite good going forward. It's more their defensive frailties that have let them down so far. So I think they're going to score quite a few, and we'll go with 3-0 to Southampton. Arsenal versus Sheffield. Can Arsenal bounce back after that defeat against Liverpool? They could have definitely got something out of that game. Lacazette having some beautiful chances. Sheffield United will need to bounce back after they've lost their first 3 games. Will we see a bit of a resurgence from them here? I don't think so. I can see this being 1-0 Arsenal. Wolves versus Fulham. I mean, Fulham going forward, Mitrovic doesn't actually look too bad. However, defensively, they look woeful. Their defence is incredibly slow. I mean, Odoi has been rinsed by Bamford, rinsed by Grealish, who, yes, they maybe have a little bit of pace, but nowhere near the level of pace that the likes of Podence and the likes of Traore have. Obviously, that's if Podence is back. But I think they're going to get absolutely rinsed in this game. I can see this one being a 5-0. Then we move on to Manchester United versus Spurs, one of the crunch games of the week. 2 sides that have actually struggled for form to start with. I think Spurs were very unlucky in that Newcastle game to come away with a draw. They should have won that game. And Manchester United have really been clutching at straws to get their points this season. I can see Spurs taking this victory, and I'm going to go with a 2-1 Spurs. Aston Villa versus Liverpool. The champions have looked ready to go. They're raring, as you can see, to get another title under their belts, and I just think they're going to overwhelm Aston Villa. Aston Villa have looked reasonably good defensively, but I can see this one being a sort of 2-0 to Liverpool. So we've taken a look at the fixtures, and what does this mean for the fantasy team? Now in defence, we're looking at Martinez in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Saiss and Justin. This is due to change. I'm still sort of deciding between Martinez and McCarthy in goal. I caught the price rise on Martinez, so that is definitely something to factor in. I'm just really unsure what we're trying to go with. McCarthy's got the short-term fixtures, but Martinez has the long-term fixtures, and obviously I'm going to be picking keeper over the long term, so Martinez may well be the one to go for. Trent is just a season keeper for me after watching him get an assist and a yellow card and still pick up 3 bonus points in the Arsenal game. in the Arsenal game, you just can't not own him, in my opinion. Saiss has some lovely fixtures going forward, and Justin looks like an incredibly good attacking option as well, which for defenders this year is going to be very important because we're seeing very, very few clean sheets actually being kept this season. Then we move on to the midfield, where a bit more of the money is distributed, sticking with Salah and De Bruyne, two people who I'm probably going to have for the majority of the season. They just seem like very, very consistent points in my opinion. The captaincy choice is still up for debate. De Bruyne is one of the main options for me. I just think Manchester City are going to come out firing. No team wants to play Manchester City after they've just lost, but not after they've just conceded 5 goals. They're going to be hunting for a victory in this game, and I can see it being a bit of a slaughter. Then we have the Zaha, who's been on incredible form of late. Could he use his pace, his bit of a trickery to grab a goal in the Chelsea game? I think so, but his fixtures in the long term look very good. Anyway, Foden's just there sort of for the next few game weeks. Very nice fixtures and very likely to start as well. Moving into the attack now, this is where the big boys are. Obviously, Bamford is right now. He's there as a placeholder right now. His price is going up, and I'm trying to catch a bit of a price rise on him. If he got one more time, I would have made 0.1 of him, which would be very nice. But just imagine that Bamford is Jimenez, and now you can really see how the money is distributed. We've got Jimenez, Ings, and Calvert-Lewin up front. 3 strikers who, you know, each week you can probably expect, well, you can expect at least one of them to score. 2 of them scoring each week is very nice, or just getting some kind of attacking return. I feel like those 3 up front could be very, very good throughout the season. And now we move to the bench, where I've really restricted the amount of money I spend on the bench. I've gone with 2 4 million defenders, Mitchell and Dunn. Dunn currently playing for Burnley. Unlikely to continue playing when sort of Benmi and Tarkowski come back. Although Tarkowski has been linked with a move away, so if he does go, Dunn may indeed keep his place. And Mitchell looks like a very solid pick for now. He will be playing for the time being until Van Aanholt gets back. When Van Aanholt does get back, it's likely that we'll see Ferguson back from injury as well, who is another 4 million option. So we can just trade them out, and a lovely little transfer there. And Berkey, or Burke, whichever one you want to say, he looks like a very nice option as well. Or even if he's not starting every game week, he's getting the position he's starting in is striker. He's only ever going to be a sort of, you know, placeholder, 4.5 million player to sit on the bench. But if he is starting and he can even grab a goal, at least his value won't depreciate, which is what happened with Riedwald before. I lost 0.1 million there, which is a little bit frustrating. And then we've got Nyland on the bench, just another placeholder just to sit there. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this quick little team selection video, please don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you around in the next one. Thank you.